You better not mess with me, or I'm gonna get long at you.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper. Big Mac, Whopper. Big Mac, Whopper. Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Peak Fiction Cinema yet again with Ponzi again.
Hello.
We did Mononoke last episode, and I guess now we're doing Dune, Villeneuve's Dune. And I don't know, should we start with context on Dune or context on Villeneuve? Because I feel like both are going to be pretty important to establish.
Oh, let's go Dune first.
So, Dune is a sci-fi story that was made forever ago, I think like during the 60s.
Yeah, 1965 it says.
I recently bought the book. It hasn't arrived yet, but I'm going to read the actual book. So I was hoping to before I could do this review, but it didn't quite work out. Amazon kind of screwed me over. But
it's a long book anyway.
Yeah, no, there's no way I would have been able to read all that in that amount of time. But it's infamous for being considered unadaptable. Do you know Alejandro Jodorowsky?
Alejandro Jodorowsky? I don't think I'm familiar.
So he did The Holy Mountain and El Topo and a bunch of other like crazy. They're not super well known, but they're these like visually just gorgeous psychedelic movies. A lot of them are like the kind of movies that you'd want to watch on psychedelics because the visual style is just so distinct. If you like look up Holy Mountain shots from Jodorowsky's Holy Mountain, he has a very good style, and he wanted to adapt Dune, but it didn't happen. It never came out because his project was way too long, and I'm kind of glad it never came out because he wasn't really looking to do an adaptation. He was wanting to turn it into a big psychedelic, like he did with The Holy Mountain, like turn it into just this big psychedelic sci-fi adventure, and change it into something completely different. So after his had failed, he did a documentary that was pretty good, going into all of his ideas. He had like thousands and thousands of like layouts and like artwork of what he wanted to do with it, but it didn't quite work out. And then Lynch, I think, made the 80s one. I don't know if you've seen that
David
one.
Lynch was 1984.
Yeah. George Orwell's 1984. Have you seen that one?
I have not, but I have not heard good things about it.
So he hates it, and it's mainly because he was kind of forced into it. He didn't really want to make a Dune movie or adaptation. He didn't really care about the book, but he did make his movie, and it just didn't. He wasn't given enough time to do what he wanted to do with it. He wanted to make like a 5-hour movie or like split it in half, but they wouldn't let him. They said you get 2 hours and that's it. And there's like a rumor that he actually did make a 5-hour movie, but that it was cut down to 2 hours, and we'll never get to see the rest of what he had in stock. But whether or not that's true, I don't know. All I know is that he wanted to do 2 movies and they said no, and so he considers it his biggest failure. Which is funny because when you actually watch it, it's not that bad. Or at least not in comparison to what people say. It is a very entertainingly over-the-top, absurd movie, but Lynch himself really hates it. And he actually considered taking his name off of it.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for Dune 1984, and it says the rough cut was over 4 hours, so I think you're right on that.
Oh, well, if there is a rough cut, I would love to see it, because I want to see his full vision of what it would have been, and it would have made a nice comparison. Either way, both of these directors, when Villeneuve stepped in to actually adapt it, Villeneuve has been wanting to do this for a long time. This is like a dream project of his, and both directors, I mean, Jodorowsky wished him well, but both directors pretty much said that they kind of hope it fails, because they're both bitter about how they didn't get to adapt Dune the way they wanted to. And it must be really bad for Lynch, because unlike Lynch, Villeneuve did get to make 2 movies, and they were both like 3 hours. So I imagine that's got to be a very like frustrating thing to witness. There was like a sci-fi television series that adapted Dune, but I didn't watch it, so I don't care. We're just gonna skip that one. And then, what other Villeneuve films have you seen?
Let me check real quick. I know I've seen Sicario.
Prisoners?
I've seen a lot of them.
Have you seen Prisoners?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I've seen Prisoners, Sicario. I'm trying to remember the names of everything because I have them on my Letterboxd.
So my personal favorite, probably my second favorite movie of all time behind like Oldboy, is Villeneuve's version of Blade Runner 2049. And I really love the original Blade Runner, but I watched 2049 first, so I'm kind of biased more towards that one. But that you know, Villeneuve's a great director. I loved Blade Runner 2049. I loved Sicario, Prisoners.
Oh yeah, on Sondi's too.
Yeah, that one.
That's incredible.
I think he's very good at dialogue. He's very good at dialogue, and he's very good at action. I've noticed, and like setting the tone and atmosphere and whatnot.
I think something he's really good at is also making characters feel very human.
Yeah, he was really good at that in like Blade Runner 2049. That was it's probably my favorite Ryan Gosling performance. Out of even more so than like the funny Ken, like LMAO, you're Kenough, but I don't know. Blade Runner 2049's honestly perfect. So what did you think of his version of Dune, his adaptation of Dune?
I thought they were very good, honestly. Like, they were very grandiose, very, like... They just, like, were really good at showing off the full scale of the world.
The budget of both of these movies is insane. I thought it was... having seen that Jodorowsky and Lynch have both, like, jumped onto this, I'm understanding now because it does have that sort of unique, distinct, and honestly kind of weird visual style. And Villeneuve does his own take on it, but his is a lot more like grimy and real, and like weird thing. Like in the Lynch movie, weird things happen, and the characters like kind of embrace it. But in this one, weird things happen and nobody addresses it. It's just it's just part of the world. All the weirdness is like, and that's how the book was. This is, I would say, a much more dedicated adaptation of the Dune books.
Honestly, I think Villeneuve's directorial style is much more suited to this story than Lynch's.
Yeah, Lynch's is very weird for the sake of weird, which I love. I love Lynch's movies, but he just was not the pick for Dune, and neither was Jodorowsky. Jodorowsky is like Lynch on like LSD, is pretty much what his style is like.
All right, I got to see some of his stuff then.
Absolutely. I'm going to show you Holy Mountain at some point because you will not be bored. It is a strange movie, but it is so good.
Hell yeah.
But either way, so kind of the plot of these movies is it's like a pretty cut and dry Chosen One story, but the main character played by the I forget the actor's name, but it's the twink
Timothée Chalamet? Yeah,
Timothée Chalamet. And also this, while we're mentioning cast, this also has Zendaya from Euphoria. And they have kind of a complicated relationship. But basically, he's like... So there's a lot of moving parts to this movie. It's kind of hard to know where to start because there's so much lore. Some of which is very subtle.
I guess we should start with the Rockies.
So which one's that again?
It's the planet, the spice planet.
The spice. So there's this desert planet, and it is it's brutal. It's a very it's hotter than like our deserts on Earth, and it's got these like sandworms. That's probably the most iconic part of Dune is the sandworms. I've seen 3 different interpretations of the Dune sandworms. But it is the same gimmick of they're these massive worms that rise up and they eat people. And they're terrifying. And I like this movie's take on them because the sand, whenever they start coming up to the surface, the sand starts to liquefy. And I thought that was a pretty interesting concept because I don't think that was in the Lynch version. But basically, you got this kid, this guy. He's like royal. He's kind of treated like royalty. He's like the chosen one, supposedly. And he and his family, they're doing a spice trade on this desert planet, Arrakis. Is that how you say it, Arrakis? Or
I think so. We should probably mention what spice is too.
Yeah. So I didn't fully understand what spice was. I know that they use these generators to get this stuff called spice, and they I guess they sell it for profit or something like that.
It's a drug called melange. It says it's supposed to have like life extending properties, mental capability properties, and like it's also just used to power spaceships in this universe. So
yeah, I did.
It just kind of does everything. It's like if cocaine was also oil.
See, the thing is with the book, from what I've read a couple passages of the book, like online, and then I had to get like the physical copy. But like the book is so dense with what it describes, and it's got all these different motivations, all these different factions, all this like, and it's hard. It's really hard to fit all of that into a movie. And I do kind of notice that problem in this one as well as the Lynch one, where it's like I can't really keep up with everything going on. Like it took me forever to even know what their motivations were until the raid, because they're staying on this desert planet, and then somebody betrays them by lowering the shields, and then they get attacked by the bald guys. I forgot what they were called too. The bald fascist guys.
Oh man, I'm.
So, well, you know who I'm talking about.
House Harkonnen.
Harkonnen, there we go. So they have a guy on the inside that like, I guess feeds them information and then cuts the shields down, and it's this. It turns out it's the doctor that they have, and they took his wife and they obviously killed her, but he thinks that she's still alive and that he'll get to see her again, and it doesn't quite work out. In his favor. And so kind of from there, like the place gets raided, and like what I really, really loved, or kind of the part that got me like obsessed with this movie, what like at least enough that I was like, I have to see the second one, was I love some of the conflicts. Like the guy that betrayed them, he's like, hey, I betrayed you and you have to die and I'm sorry, but here's a little like thing you can like bite with your tooth and it'll emit poison in the air, so that when you meet the chief, the fascist leader, you can kill him and both of you will die. And so he has him, like, he's basically beaten and tortured, and then they have him in the main room with them, and they're interrogating him, and they unsurprisingly they kill the other guy, the doctor, because he basically did all this for nothing, and it was I saw that part coming. But then the dad like bites the thing, blows poison into his face, and it doesn't even kill him. Like he flies up to the ceiling, and I don't know how he survived that, but I really, really like the visual effects of this. Like the poison going up on his face was really interesting. They got these like shields as well, they're invisible shields, and whenever someone tries to attack them, it has like colors associated with what part of them's getting attacked. And like blue is like the parts that deflect damage, and then red are the weak parts, I guess.
That seems right.
Like there was a part where one of them's, he's like wearing it, and then someone shoots a poison or like some sort of dart at his back, and it's like fighting like hell to keep it from fight it off, but he can't reach it in time, and then it just hits him in the back. And I thought these shields were like very interesting. How did you feel about the visual style?
I just thought the whole movie looked pretty amazing.
He really did like go above and beyond to try to make this as detailed as he could, and the screens are just filled with so much stuff going on. so much color, so much like the designs, the costumes. I really, really appreciated that part of it.
I know I said like earlier that it's just a very grandiose film, but I just have to reiterate that because like every shot is just incredible. Like I know it's a thing to say like every shot's like a wallpaper or whatever, but
Every
like,
frame of painting, like the Kubrick thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting looking at this in comparison to other interpretations of it, because every director that seems to, aside from like I don't like the sci-fi television series visually because it's very, in my opinion, flat visually. But the rest of the adaptations, the attempt at Jodorowsky's, the Lynch version, and this one are all visually distinct, and they're all different from each other. And it is interesting to see, like, now I'm just kind of headcanoning what what was the director I was going to say? Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
That happens.
Well, whatever. Where I was going with this was, like, visually, this movie actually reminds me a little bit of Apocalypse Now. There were a lot of shots in it that reminded me a lot of
The scale?
the scale. There's like a part where the bad guy, the main villain, he's bald in this one. In the Lynch one, he had like ginger hair, but in this one, he's completely bald, and he like puts his hand on his head, just kind of wipes his face, similar to how Kurtz did in Apocalypse Now. There's another shot of him like rising up out of this black tar oil substance. That's very similar to the shot at the end of Apocalypse Now, the iconic one with the main character from that one, Martin Sheen's character, coming out of the water when he's getting ready to kill Kurtz. So like, there's a lot of, and also you have these like ships that are like mosquito ships, which I thought were really funny. And there's like a bunch of them flying over the desert, and that reminded me a lot of the helicopters from Apocalypse Now. So there's a lot of like, I could tell that there was a little bit of inspiration here and there from mainly Apocalypse Now, but probably just Coppola in general. So there was, I don't know, Villeneuve's very, very good at visual spectacle. And so, kind of the plot, I mean, the plot, it is pretty slow, but basically this guy, they get, the kid and his mother, they get captured by these Harkonnen, and they're getting ready to, like, feed them to the worms, but then one of them, I think, suggests, like, hey, let's rape the mom and then kill her. So it kind of shows you like how just flat out evil these guys are. Just absolutely horrid they are. And I liked that whole stretch because their family has the ability to like, it's kind of like cursed speech from Jujutsu Kaisen, where they do the voice, they find the right pitch, and then they tell you to do something and you do it. It's like an interesting little superpower they have. Anyway, that's how they get free, is that he tells them to take off her gag, and then she uses her voice to kill them. And then suddenly they have to make their way into the desert. They meet the desert people. Again, I forgot the name of them.
What the hell were they called?
We were not
Faraki, I think.
Something like that. And so they meet them, and so this kind of serves as the foundation.
Oh, the Fremen.
The Fremen. There we go. So they meet some Fremen, and this kind of serves as the foundation of the plot of the second movie, where from there the Fremen initially don't trust them, and the main character has to fight one of them because he doesn't like him, and he has to kill him, and then after killing him, he's accepted as one of them, as like honorary Fremen, and they have to learn their ways. And that's kind of the plot of the second movie, is where he goes from learning their he gains their admiration, and then they actually start to believe in the prophecy that he is the chosen one. And while he rises to power, he develops a relationship with the woman played by Zendaya, and
Johnny?
yeah, and their relationship starts to get, like, they basically start to drift apart after that. And honestly, like, as much as I do like the visual spectacle of this, and I think the performances were really good, I think one of my issues with these two movies is that at points, and maybe it's just the sound design, but there were points where the action felt a little underwhelming.
What do you mean exactly?
Like, there were I guess maybe part of it's the sound effects, like whenever people get killed or like hit, like the impact of hits, like didn't sound particularly, like, it didn't have the same, like, it didn't feel impactful. It felt very, like, stiff, I guess, and sort of weak in some points. Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, even in the second movie, you get introduced to the villain of that movie, the younger Harkonnen, and he's like
Austin Butler's character.
Yeah, it looks like iDubbbz when he did the hair cake video.
Jesus.
And he's a very interesting villain in that he's kind of the opposite of the of our hero, because there was this really good segment in the first movie where our hero has to take this test by putting his hand in a box, and the box, like, hurts him, and he has to fit, like, and he has, like, a poison needle at his neck, and he has to endure the pain, because if he takes his hand out of the box, she'll stab him with the needle, and then he endures, and the same test happens to this villain. So they're kind of like polar opposites of each other, because he's very, like, I think the way they described him in the movie was, like, he's very emotionally, like, closed off, practically a psychopath, but he is, like, sexually vulnerable.
I think they, like, called him a sociopath, literally.
Yeah. And that's mainly because he's had to deal with abuse from his father figure, the Emperor guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or not the Emperor, because the Emperor actually does show up. He's played by Christopher Walken, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was Christopher Walken.
But the evil guy, I really wish I had memorized the name. That's part of my problem, is there's so many moving parts, it was kind of hard to memorize all of the names of everybody.
It was Shaddam the Fourth, I think.
Shaddam, that's the evil one, or the Emperor?
Yeah, the Christopher Walken's character.
Oh, it's okay. So Shaddam the Fourth is the Emperor. He didn't seem to play a super huge role in it. He didn't get much screen time compared to everybody else, which I thought was a little underwhelming, because I did find him kind of interesting. But overall, like, out of, like, were there any, like, other issues that you had with it, like, anything that kind of held it back for you?
It wasn't really that it was held back for me. It was more just, like, I just thought it was very good overall. I don't love some of the casting choices, like Timothée Chalamet is good, but, like, I feel like there could have been someone better. Zendaya is, like, good. I feel like there could have been someone better, but casting is mostly my issue with this movie.
Yeah, it's mostly, like, just big Hollywood picks, right? Like, there's nobody in this movie that was particularly obscure. It was all very big, also trendy people. Zendaya in particular, like, I was honestly kind of baffled, because it's like I just associate her with Euphoria, so it was really weird. Be like, I'm signing up for this sci-fi movie, and then there's just the drug addict from Euphoria. And it's not like she does a bad job. She did pretty good, but I don't know. I feel like the picks were a little bit weird.
That's just what happens when you're making, like, a Hollywood blockbuster, but, like, it's just whatever.
Another issue I kind of had with it is I think part one ended on a kind of underwhelming note. Like it didn't feel like whenever I watch, like, for example, Kill Bill Volume 1, I feel like that movie could stand on its own. But in this case, it can't. It can't stand on its own.
Yeah.
It needs you need to watch both parts to review, and that's why I didn't bother reviewing it when it had first come out.
It's kind of tough, just because, like, I don't know if there was a great moment to end on.
Yeah, true. Like, honestly, maybe the best moment would have, I would say, maybe would have been the invasion and then them getting away from it. But even then, that's like halfway through the movie, you know. And he was he had like plenty of he was able to cover the entire book. So kind of
just wasn't there.
Yeah, there's really no way he could have gotten out of this, really. But he did pretty well over. I think this is the best adaptation of Dune out there. Better than the TV show, in my opinion.
I think this is the best Dune adaptation can get, for real.
Yeah, Denis was a real good, like, pick for this. And he really wanted to give his all to make this as special as possible. It's just that it is far from his best movies, but it's far from, like, top tier for Villeneuve.
I'm really happy that he's getting more attention, though.
Oh yeah, I was kind of upset when Blade Runner 2049 didn't do super well. But then again, the original Blade Runner didn't either, so it's almost kind of a prophecy at that point.
Yeah.
There are a lot of, like, likable characters. I like the mom character, especially how over the course of the first film, you know, she has like a rocky relationship with her son, and there's points where he is angry at her because he feels like she kind of broke him by giving him these powers and setting him on this journey. And then over the course of the second movie, it seems like she kind of starts to get a little bit more unhinged once she starts learning their traditions. And there's even the part where she takes the compound V, the blue juice.
The Water of Life, I think it was called.
Yeah, that weird, like, drug stuff. And she like sees the memories of all the people who drank it, and from that point forward, it's like she kind of loses her mind. She sort of starts to get more unhinged. She seemed kind of evil. And I think that's one thing about this I appreciate, is that the heroes are not really heroes. They're just better. They're just better than the bad guys.
The whole deal about Dune, I think, is that heroes are just people, and they're just as human as, like, the rest of us, despite how much we put them on pedestals. Because they still can make mistakes. They still can, like, just not know what they're doing. It's about, like, what'd you say?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Then Dune is just really about how dangerous it is to, like,
to cling to a prophecy, I would say.
Yeah. To, like, dangerous it is to not hype up heroes, but, like,
kind of put, like, idolize and, like, put on a pedestal.
Idolize.
And especially because it does kind of start to get to his head. Even though initially he didn't want any of this, it does kind of start to get to his head by the end. And it's like he practically just forgets about all the people that care about him or that are there for him by the end. It didn't feel like a particularly happy ending.
It wasn't a happy ending, honestly.
And yeah, I think the pacing overall is solid for the first one especially. The second one, towards the end, it did feel like it was really trying hard to, like, okay, let's just wrap this up. Like, let's just get this done and over with. Especially that final battle, the one that they were hyping up between him and the younger Harkonnen. So I think it is clever how it's, like, framed like your traditional chosen one, good versus evil, but then you slowly learn that the good is not all that good. I also, you know, there's other characters that I really liked that were kind of left the narrative as quickly as they were introduced, but they still left kind of an impact, like his brother, I think it was his brother, the really cool guy from the first one that, like, sacrificed himself to save them when they were being chased by Harkonnen.
Duncan, Idaho?
I think that was who it was. He's basically, because our main character, he has the Xenoblade Chronicles visions of the future, where he can see the future and he knows things that are going to happen, and he finds out that that guy's going to die, and he tries to warn him. He's like, "Heh, no, I'm not," and then he does. So I wasn't shocked at all when he ended up dead, but that was probably my favorite character in the whole series. I say series, but it's like 2 movies. So far, I mean, there hasn't been, like, I haven't watched a lot of the newer movies of 2024. Mostly watched movies from 2023. And I still have to catch up on a few, but so far, like, I think this is a solid one. I don't think it's going to be, like, film of the year or anything, but I think we're off to a great start so far this year. I did really like both of these movies. And if you like sci-fi, they're definitely, they scratch that itch really well in a unique way that I haven't seen done.
Definitely, I think this is one of the best sci-fi stories ever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, like, it's not my personal favorite, but it is up there. It is really, really, really good.
I really hope Dune Messiah gets adapted.
One more time?
I hope Dune Messiah gets adapted.
I do too. I kind of hope that, like, Villeneuve can maybe, like, step up and kind of adapt the full series. But I also think it would be interesting for there to be, like, different adaptations from different directors, so long as they can still stay faithful and they're all, like, decent picks for the project. So I don't really have much else to share. I think we kind of touched all bases. They're long movies, but I think that is one thing, is that they're also very easy to follow, very simple. So there's not a lot of, like, depth to them that you could go into particularly, unless you, like, really care about this universe. And I'm gonna read the book, and I'm probably gonna end up making a video about the book anyway. So I'm kind of ready to just give my final thoughts. What about you?
We can wrap this up if you'd like.
Okay. What do you have it at? I would say, like, what do you have each movie at individually out of 10, and then, like, overall?
I think both of them are 9 out of 10s for me.
Okay. So put together, it's still, like, a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I would say, honestly, like, an 8 for both. I think they're equal in quality. I don't think one is particularly better than the other. Villeneuve, he did it again. He's the GOAT. He's one of my favorite directors, and he stays winning. And I want to see him keep doing sci-fi. It doesn't have to be Dune. I love when he does sci-fi. He's very, very good at it, especially with how Star Wars has fallen apart recently, which is so funny too. Like when the 80s Dune from Lynch came out, everybody was making fun of it because Star Wars was so much better. And now we get a new Dune adaptation, and Star Wars is crap. And now everybody's making fun of Star Wars in favor of Dune. So it's completely flipped. He finally got the upper hand. But
the tables have turned.
Yeah. But yeah, go watch Dune Part 2 if it's still in theaters. I imagine it is. And also watch the end of Evangelion in theaters, because I think that's still happening, right? Maybe. I don't know.
Is it?
I actually did a double feature. I watched the end of Evangelion in theaters the same day that I watched Dune Part 2.
Very cool. That's certainly a combo.
Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm gonna